Namaskar. Welcome to another session of rural management, and the topic that we are discussing is rural tourism. I am Ashwin Kumar here, your mentor and facilitator for the session. Today we are going to discuss about the topic, the demand for rural tourism, and as part of that we are going to discuss about the motivational factors which play a key role in the tourist mind. So before we really begin the session, I would like to request you, all the viewers who are watching the video, please make a simple note with your pen and paper, write it down. What are the places that you have visited? How was your experience? And the important thing is, why did you want to see that place? Because that plays a key role in today's session. So please take 1 minute's time, please write it down. What are the tourist places you have visited from your childhood till date, and why have you visited, and what are the memories associated with that? Anything, it can be good, bad, adventurous also. So please write it down. So let us go inside the topic today and find out what are the motivational factors in rural tourism. So typically whenever we say motivation, definitely we have to talk about Maslow's hierarchies of needs. What are the physiological needs, what are the safety needs, what is the level and belonging and the esteem and the self-actualization. This is a typical way we discuss, we all of us know about it as Maslow's hierarchy of needs. But here Solomon in 2014 defines motivation as an internal force that stimulates into the action which will enable to fulfill the needs or desires. According to him, human behavior is based on motivation and can be controlled by motivation. Definitely, we are all controlled, we are all motivated to do a certain set of things. But whereas when we are concerned about how we plan for our holidays and vacations, especially when you have to conduct your destination weddings, all these things, there's a kind of a motivation behind it. So what is it, all these things? Let us slowly explore one by one and understand the things which go inside our brains and maybe inside our consumers' brains also. So what does he say? He says the integrating network of biological and cultural forces which influence the travel choices, behavior and experience. Hall and Page in 2014 argued that an understanding of tourist motivation can offer a range of insights into why people are involved in recreational activities. Why are we involved in recreational activities? Because we need to take a day off, we need to break the routine so that we want to feel afresh. It's like, we want to recharge ourselves. So that is what makes a lot of difference. Why do you want to take a break? So most of the people, what happens is somebody would like to read a book, or somebody would like to watch a movie, somebody would like to go and visit a place, or somebody would like to take, use photography, anything that they are interested. It's like a hobby kind of a thing. So a hobby relaxes them a lot. So that is why we need to understand this particular aspect. Prevenson emphasizes that tourists are driven by motivation while deciding which type of holiday to choose and which destination to visit. According to another study, it can be defined as a set of needs and drives a person to participate in a tourist activity. So a lot of people, as we said, a lot of pilgrimage tourism and everything, it affects a lot. So it changes the why people would like to visit and the same places also. We have discussed in the previous sessions. So here when motivation is concerned, so technically speaking, what we need to understand is whenever the tourists visit the place, especially to all the tour operators, you need to make a simple form kind of a survey, especially to the rural areas that they would like to visit. Please understand why are they coming, what is their purpose, what is it they are going to achieve there, what is it that they are going to take it back to their native country. So these things makes a lot of difference when we are understanding the rural tourism in its own perspective, in its own contextual way. Now, what are the motivational factors? I'm just going to list you a few factors. The list of tourist motives consists of the following motives. Physical motive is the need for certain acts of relaxation. Personal motivation is the needs to fulfill personal dreams, desires or wishes, including visiting relatives or friends. Here we say standard, the new terminology that has come in is what is your bucket list? What are the places in your bucket list? So you want to tick off what are the things that you have visited. So bucket list is also one important thing, the new age terminology that has come into the place. Then comes the personal development motive might be the need to increase the knowledge of that particular area, especially the ecotourism. Ecotourism is one aspect where people would like to know more, explore more about that particular area. Whatever the knowledge they have gained, they want to see it in live in action. What more it can enrich them more, how it can enrich them more. Then come, lot of people visit certain places because of nostalgia, because they visited sometime in the childhood, they are revisiting it again because they would like to see how the place has changed. So I feel lot of people, especially tourists to certain locations, have got lot of nostalgia attached to it. So nostalgia plays a key role, especially in the rural tourism also. Especially people who would like to come back to their own villages, people who would like to come back to their own school or colleges where they have studied, especially our NRIs. So they would like to visit their own place, and this thing, that itself is a motive behind it. Now, status and prestige motive include desire to obtain something exclusive or fashionable, and cultural motivation is of interest to discover new cultures. Here we'd like to talk about status and prestige move. Lot of people have said that they visit the places to upload their pictures in the social media, maybe in Facebook or Instagram. That's the new trend right now. So if the new trend is right now, they would like to visit the 7 wonders of the world or the pyramids in Egypt, anything. That Machu Picchu is right now the current favorite right now. So please understand these things, what happens is impacts the inside the tourist brain. What is it they are likely to put it? So that's what we need to understand. There are people who they visit only because they want to put up pictures in the social media. That's a new age lifestyle. So cultural motivation is an interest to discover new cultures, new tradition. So that's kind of a tourist is of different nature. That particular tourist who is a cultural tourist, his knowledge is about the particular host country will be different. He is more interested to acquire knowledge, to understand the culture in its own way. Here we are going to do a simple activity which I am going to read it out, and please you should also do the research from your side. What is it that we are going to do the activity? Today we are going to discuss about the snake boat race in Kerala. Nothing to be afraid of, it's a tradition, so I'll just sharing with you. The name might sound dangerous, but there is nothing to be worried about it. If this is the first time you have heard about it, you must know that it does not involve snakes. The snake boat race gets its name from the shape of the boat used for racing. It's a long canoe style boat that is used by the people of Kerala to participate in the racing competition in the backwaters of Kerala. This is a historical war boat of Kerala which is about 100 to 120 feet long and can hold up to 100 rowers. Snake boat is the pride of the villages in this region, and every village has a snake boat of its own. In the history of Kerala, snake boat race has been associated with the state for over 400 years. Can you imagine 400 years? What kind of a rich heritage and history the snake boat race has. The story of this boat race has been traced to the ancient king in Aleppi. He was known for fighting battles with the kings of nearby regions along the canals. During the time of war, the king suffered a huge loss, and to get a better boat, he got a boat architect. Imagine in those days, more than 300 years ago, we had a boat architect, boat designer. To build a boat for him, the architect thus made the snake boat. In the present day, these boats are used during festivals and as for adventure sports and activities. The Nehru Trophy Snake Boat Race is an event that is held every year in the month of August or September, the best time to visit Kerala. It is one of the premier snake boat races that draws massive crowds from all over the country. If you are looking to be a part of such a grand event, the venue of the boat race is Punnamada Lake. Each year, hundreds of people crowd this region to watch this competition. During this time, the locals bring their past associated with Aleppi to life with different ceremonial water processions held one after the another, along with various magnificent water boats. What a lovely treat to watch the snake boat race. And make sure you visit Kerala during August and September and enjoy Kerala in its true pristine beauty during that time. The motivation factors, here we are going to discuss about push and pull factors. What is the push factor? What is the pull factor? The push factor means factors which encourage individuals to move away from their home setting through tourism. So tourism, tourist locations, suddenly they are watching a movie, something comes in the news, they are motivated to say, why shouldn't I visit this place? They want to break away from the routine. So that is what we say, something pushes them to move away from their home. What is the pull factor? Those attributes of a different place which attract or pull them towards it. Just now we have discussed about the Kerala boat race, the snake boat race. So people can be attracted to the particular race and they would like to see, let us go and visit Kerala, let us see that particular event, snake boat race also. This can also be a pull factor. What we can say, typically we can say that is what attracts them. So it's an attraction kind of a thing. So as a rule, tourists are motivated by one of these motives or several of these motives together. But according to McClelland in 1965, there is a group of tourists who have a great need for power and uniqueness. What is power and uniqueness? How do we define that as far as from tourist is concerned? What kind of power does a tourist get? Any idea? The idea is when a person comes, when you visit a particular location, understand it, and that too you are coming from your circle of your friends or from your office colleagues and others or from your family members, you may be the first person to visit that particular area. So you have taken that great chance, great leap of faith to go to that particular place, understand it, see the beautiful tourist locations and understand the nitty-gritties of that and make a document of it, such that slowly what happens is you become an expert in that particular area. So that is what is called as the power and the uniqueness. Yes, this person has gone to that particular place. When is the right time to go there? What kind of food is available? What kind of accommodation is available? All these things is called the power that person has. And most of the today's bloggers and vloggers, they upload it in their concerned websites and the blogs and the YouTube channel, which most of you we are all aware of. So that is what we call it as the power and uniqueness of their visit. They would like to document it, they would like to shoot the video, and they would like to give their suggestion how best to arrive at that place. Right. The study of motivation traditionally falls within the push internal and pull external motivating dimensions, within the former being the prevailing focus of tourism motivation research. Most of the companies and the tour operators, the tourism operators, they do the motivational research. You have to do the motivational research to find out which tourist is coming and for what purpose, so that you can plan your tourist journeys better. And especially when we are trying to talk about rural tourism, especially you are the village development tourist committee which is sitting there, you have to create a small form for the tourists to fill it up when they visit your villages, how they interact, and when they, most important thing is at the start you have to give them one form. Once they finish the tour of your village, give them another form. Keep both the forms, read it and understand it and document it in a proper file, in an online mode and offline mode, such that it will help you prepare for the next coming season. So that is why this particular factors, study of motivation, traditionally falls within the push and pull factors. Please let us understand this and apply it in our day-to-day life. Here we are going to talk about Beard and Ragab in 1983. They created a particular format. They called it as leisure motivation scale. What is this leisure motivation scale? It has a broad overview of psychological and sociological reasons for participating in the leisure activities, and there are 4 sub areas which have been mentioned: intellectual, social, competency mastery and stimulus avoidance. The highest score is the primary motivation, lowest score factors they may avoid participating. It's on a 5-point Likert scale. According to the leisure motivation scale, there are 4 motives that determine the tourist satisfaction. One is the intellectual, social, mastery and competence, stimulus avoidance motives. These 4 motives can be considered by tourism operators and agencies while choosing the tour for consumers with a purpose to sell the product, which may satisfy the tourist needs at the highest extent. What is it, all this particular thing? Let us know it in depth such that it can help marketing our rural tourist destination better. Now, these motivation factors. Intellectual motive assesses the extent to which individuals are motivated to engage in leisure activities which involve mental activities such as learning, exploring, discovering, thought or imagining. This has been proposed by Beard and Ragab in 1983. In other words, this motive defines to what extent tourist is motivated by need to learn something. It's all about learning. As I said, it's all about experiential. So most of the tourists would like to have that experience of a lifetime in whichever place they visit. Next, the social motive. Assess the extent to which individuals are motivated to travel because of a need for communication with other people. They want to communicate with others, they want to connect with the world, they want to connect with those places where they are eagerly waiting to do, as I said, especially in their bucket list kind of a thing. The motive consists of two basic needs, the need for friendship and the interpersonal relationship. Also, it refers to the need belonging to a social group and ego satisfaction. Here I have already told you, let us say one of your friends or a cousin or somebody who has visited one of the 7 wonders of the world as a trip, obviously you are going to take the next one, because you will also like to be part of that particular circle. It's all what I can say in one way is peer group pressure. It's a peer pressure. The peer pressure mounts, especially on the social media sites. The competency and mastery, the next one, the extent to which the individuals are motivated because of a need to master a challenge or a compete. Let us say somebody has got the fear of visiting into forests, so they would like to explore, they would like to get rid of that fear. So that is the reason they undertake that particular trip to certain different forests, remote areas. So sometimes there is a challenge thrown by their friends or somebody, detoxification of gadgets, internet, everything, disconnectivity with everything, modern gadgets, just to live a simple rural life. So that also acts as a motivation to certain people. Next thing is avoidance motive. Please pay attention. This is a very important one which I would like to share. Avoidance motive assesses the drive to escape and get away from overstimulating life situations. It is the need for some individuals to avoid social contacts, to seek solitude and calm conditions. For others is to seek rest and to unwind themselves. So this avoidance motive is basically happens to people who have recently undergone some emotional crisis. They would like to be left alone. They are not lonely, they would like to be left alone. They would like to be in solitude. They would like to reassess their life. They would like to re-understand their priorities in life, in which direction they want to take life ahead, and they don't want to get in touch with the regular set of people. So that is why this is also one of the important motives which people would like to come and stay in a remote place to sit down and analyze their lives, visit nearby tourist locations or just sit in the place. So especially the tourist operators and the cab operators, please make sure that the mental health is a very important aspect. When the person is coming, kindly do not disturb them. They are coming there for their mental peace, number one. Second thing, most of the people, especially you have seen the creative people, especially the people who are writers, I have seen the poets, the lyricists of lot of movies and this thing, whenever they are given a task, the music directors also, based on the location, based on the story, they would like to go and sit in a remote location, pen their stories, write it down, or pen their songs and come back. Music directors record the music at certain locations. So that is why this makes this avoidance motive is very important tourist motivational factor. So that is why you have to understand there are certain set of writers who book a certain place because it has got a sentimental value for them to, maybe they wrote a particular script which was very successful. They would like to visit the location again and nobody to be disturbed. There are many names like that, in the industry, in the media and entertainment industry, they do it. I am sure most of you are watching it would have done it also. So this avoidance motive is also very important to understand how people are affected by certain things in their life. They want to avoid the uncomfortable situations in their lives such that they can proceed ahead with understanding, assessment. That is what we can say is they are reassessing their priorities in life. Now we are going to discuss about self-motivation skills. What is it? We'll be going in depth. The tourist motivation has been studied during the long period, but it has still not been investigated. Everybody is interested, right from the market research person, the consumer behavior guy, and all the tourist operators, tour travel operators. They would like to understand, is there a structure to it and everything. The first studies in this field are needed. Definitely it is needed. Everyone can contribute as one single team in a common site or a common blog. But there are a lot of limitation and gaps in these studies, because sometimes people come, they state a different reason why they have come, but actually they have come for a different reason. So we cannot exactly arrive at the pinpointed direction saying this is the exact reason why this particular tourist has come to this location. Definitely we can arrive certain percentages there that needs to be investigated further and done a proper research, especially for the rural tourist destinations in India. For example, the research in the field of tourist motivations concerning consumption of ecotourism is still very poor and especially rare when it comes to the collection of primary data for tourist segmentation. So, in the spite of collecting the new data, studies often tend to extrapolate data gathered 20 or 30 years ago. This was been told as Zuckfrogras and Alcroft in 2007, Zurich in 2002. So, what are they saying exactly is right now the data on ecotourism is not up to the mark. The process is on, it is taking time, but slowly we are evolving. We are trying to understand why the eco-tourists are traveling to that particular destination. The research is going on. A lot of studies, a lot of papers are being published. We are trying to understand, it takes certain time because lifestyle has changed. And more than the lifestyle, let us say technically speaking, post-COVID scenario is different. I would like to say here, we have to put everything in any research format as pre-COVID scenario and post-COVID scenario. The studies should be done on this, but especially you have to take into the factor the consideration of the Chinese COVID that had come. So this pre-COVID scenario and post-COVID scenario, please keep it in your any research paper that you're working on. It adds a lot of value, it adds a new dimension to the study. Coming to the self-motivational skills. Self-motivational skills are arranged in three broad categories. First category is self-awareness, second one is self-management, third one is self-motivation. Let us understand self-awareness. You have to know who is your role model. Please feel free to share or write it down. Who is your role model? It can be anybody. It can be a celebrity, sports star, movie star, your own family members, your mother, your father. Please write down who is your role model and why. Why are they the role models? Then identify the formative experiences. Understand what is the impact they made on you during your early years of your life. Then please make a list of old beliefs and behaviors, how it has changed over a period of time. Now know your worth and value. That is what we say self-awareness. Where do you stand? What are your values? What are your ethics? How do you define life? How do you define money? How do you define career? How do you define a relationship? It differs from people to people. Next one, self-management, self-calming and relaxation, positive imagery and visioning. Create a structured schedule, setting attainable goals. When we say setting attainable goals, most of you are aware about a goal setting process which we call it as SMART. All your goals should be SMART. Most of you are aware of it. For the sake of the people who are not aware, I am going to share that. SMART, S-M-A-R-T. S, we say your goals should always be specific. M, measurable. A, achievable. R, realistic. T, time bound. Next comes to self-motivation, positive self-talk. How do you assess yourself? Are you very critical about yourself? Are you very judgmental about yourself and others? Are you an overthinker? So that is why, my dear friends, please understand all these things plays a key role in how you assess yourself also. Not only yourself, how you view the world, how you view the other person, the next person you meet. Next, daily vision refocusing. Every day, life is a dynamic process. Your goals keep on changing, but your broad goal, the long-term goals cannot change because you have decided it. Short-term goals, definitely, it makes a small minor changes. That is what we say is daily vision refocusing. Then focusing on the next best step. What is the next best step that you can take which can really come closer to your SMART goal? Then comes self-appreciation and optimism. We don't have a choice, we have to be optimistic, otherwise we cannot live. So we have to be an optimistic personality. Yes, definitely life poses its challenge, but we need to be resilient. We need to bounce back. We are. I need not emphasize that we are. That's what human life is all about, bouncing back. So that's why, my dear friends, it's very, very important to understand. You should appreciate yourself for the talent that you have, for the skills that you have, and the positive attitude that pushes you to take the next step, the next risk in your life. So these are the self-motivational skills that everyone should possess to understand as a tourist as well as a rural tourist management operator. So broadly, I will say self-motivation skills consist of self-awareness, self-management and self-motivation. Let's go to the next one. we are coming to an important aspect of eco-tourist motivation. The drivers that create demand for experiencing ecotourism are important to study because understanding them might help adjust our activities. During the 1990s, the eco-tourist biocentric attitudes and new specific terms were used, such as when they asked the tourists why are they visiting, they said appreciating pristine natural areas and deep commitment to conservation and environmental issues, a desire to have a deep interaction with nature. This has been told in Pereira in 2012. The tourist attitudes, preferences can be pivotal component in understanding and predicting. They can be uncovered with answers to such simple questions, very simple questions. You can ask your tourist that, what does the visitor want to experience? What social context is appropriate? What level of experience is desirable? Very broad category, very important category, my dear friends. So these three play a key role here. And most important thing is, visit management is a central factor that helps match the desires of the eco-tourist. So that is why it is important to manage the visitor and the host together to understand, to balance the need. It should be a proper mix and match situation that should happen. This was proposed by Eagles in 1992. Mind you, for the spelling here, it is LEI, Leisure Motivation Scale. It is described with the activities that take place. It is done on a typical Likert scale kind of an activity. One of my reasons for engaging in leisure activities is, what are the, and you can also do it, it is available. What are the activities? Just I am giving you broadly some rough 20 activities. To expand my interest, to seek stimulation, to make things more meaningful to me, to learn about things around me, to satisfy my curiosity, to explore new ideas, to know about myself, to expand my knowledge, to discover new things, to be creative, to be original, to use my imagination, to build friendship with others, to develop close friendships with nature, to help others. See, this is also one important aspect, is to help others. Now, if you see the picture very carefully, what is there? It is about Varanasi, the holy city. We call it as Kashi. So here if you see the first picture, which is before how it was, today if you go to Varanasi, it's totally different. If you just one picture is not enough to show me what is the difference between the Kashi of previously and today. So Varanasi is a very old, the historical city, very religious city from India point of view, from Hindu Dharma point of view. Please make sure if you are visiting India, visit Kashi, because it is one of the oldest cities. The Banaras, which we call spiritual capital of India. It is one of Hinduism's 7 holy cities, and it lies on the western bank of the river Ganga. So most of the people, they come there, they take their bath, and people who are coming, make sure they visit all the ghats which is there. Please do an activity to find out more aspects about Varanasi and the people, the culture, the tradition, what happens in Varanasi. So this is an important activity that you need to do. Now, what are the broad eco-tourist motivation? Schiffman and Kanok in 2004, market segmentation. They talked about market segmentation, and it can be defined as dividing a market into different distinct subsets of consumers with common needs. To apply the segmentation approach, what did he say? What are the main characteristics? Is one is the geographical factors, then demographic factors, psychological factors, psychographic, that is lifestyle characteristics, socio-culture variables, use related characteristics, user situation factors, benefits sought, as well as forms of hybrid segmentation. It's a combination of all these things also. These are the different characteristics for the eco-tourist motivation. So all these things affect us a lot when a particular tourist is coming, when you as a tourist visit a certain place. Now here we are going to talk about an activity which I think all of you are aware of it, but still for the people who are not aware, I am going to share a fantastic event that is called Kambala, which happens in Dakshina Kannada. So that is in South Kannada. This particular tradition is there. So this is again, it is based on the segmentation of eco-tourist motivation. In this occasion, segmentation approach based on motivation is widely used. The approach categorizes tourists into different groups based on motivation. So here when you are seeing the picture here, a man, the youngster, is really driving the buffaloes. So if possible, I don't know if you, I can suggest to you, there's recently a movie which has been appreciated worldwide. That movie is called as Kantara, and if it is available on most of the OTT platforms, if possible, watch it. It has got direct link to this particular activity at Kambala. It comes from the same place. If possible, kindly watch that and make an activity or make your own understanding of that report. Now here, my dear friends, I have given you a link for Kambala. I hope listening to this session has also enriched you. I really thank you for watching this video. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.